crash damaged M2 competition that I bought has just got a lot more interesting. Now, the previous owner actually reached out to me on Instagram, and I've got a lot more details about the car and about what happened. And let's just say, there's a reason he spun it. But the first thing I'm going to do is quickly give this workshop a little clean, because it is horrific at the minute, and yeah, it's just an absolute mess. So cleaning the workshop is always knackering. I hate doing it. So I'm going to sit down for 5 minutes and drink this lovely beer here. Beautiful. And it tastes even better because it's free. Now, how does a free case of beers sound? Our friends at Beer 52 are offering you a free case of 8 craft beers using my special link below, which is www.beer52.com/salvage. All you've got to do is cover the postage costs of £5.95 to claim your free case of beer. Beer 52 is the biggest beer club in the world. Each month they send their members a case of beer from different parts of the world. So far, members have experienced beers from over 40 different countries spanning over 5 different continents. And you can choose from juicy pale ales to delicious sumptuous stouts. Now, if dark beer isn't your usual tipple, then you can have a light beer only case option. Also included in the box is the Ferment magazine and also a couple of tasty snacks like this. But even after that, if you're still unsatisfied, you can pause or cancel at any time. So if you click the link in my description, go over to Beer 52, that is beer52.com/salvage for your free case of beers. Now, a massive thanks to Beer 52 for sponsoring today's video. So I've had a lot of parts turn up now. I've just been to BMW to collect a load of random loose parts that are going to go all on the front end. So we have a box of goodies to try and work out where they go there. We have a brand new headlight, which I need to try and swap the motors over from the old headlight to make sure it's okay. We have our standard exhaust here. We have additional cooler that was broken on the other one. We have our uprated, well, I bought it uprated because it was cheaper, but now it's a very good reason it's updated. Uprated oil cooler with pipes. We have a rear bumper complete with diffuser. I'm still awaiting some other bits. I've got a pile of rubbish over here as well that I haven't thrown away yet because I think there might be some valuable bits on there that I may need. I mean, such as the horn, and there's also some bolts and clips that I possibly may need as well, so I haven't thrown those away. Now, I have ordered 2 wings, which I'm waiting to turn up. Neither are going to be in the right colour, but at this stage it's just going to be test fitting them. I also have a new bracket for this because, as you can see, it's twisted. So we're going to be doing some front end work and hopefully get into the stage where we can actually run the engine up to temperature with a fully fitted oil cooler and additional cooler. We can get coolant in the system, oil in the system, and run the engine up for the first time properly. Here we've got a wing here. So see, I need to order another one of them, look, because that's twisted. It's just like loads. I'm going to get loads of little bits like that I can't see off the face of it that I need, but once putting things together I need. I've got 2 new side skirts coming as well. I want to chuck a door in the skip because it's just sat there, but I need to get it painted first. I can't swap over the door cards without it all being painted. So that's going to the body shop tomorrow, I believe, to be painted. So then I can swap everything over, fit the door so that's all done, and then chuck that one in the bin. But yeah, we're going to start with this headlight because it's very expensive. Pretty sure I'm going to have to remortgage the house. And I just want to be able to check that these modules are okay. But first I'm going to tell you what exactly happened to this car and why it isn't what I thought. So he was just going down the road, I think pretty much in a straight line. I don't know if it was wet or not, but the back end kicked out. He ended up going off the road into a ditch and then like bounced out the ditch and then into a field across, like just skidded across a field. Now that does explain why there was the under trays damaged so much. That explains why there's so much dirt all in the exhaust. And yeah, he said the impact corner is the corner that hit the ditch. So the roof, I'm guessing maybe a branch or it went through between some trees and caught a tree. I don't know, but it's pretty much what we expected it to be anyway. But the reason he couldn't keep it in a straight line is because it isn't standard. Now standard, this car should have 410 horsepower. It is what I assumed the power output of this car to be. But I think a few of you mentioned in the last video that you saw it had decat downpipes on, so non-genuine downpipes. And that would indicate that it's probably not standard, because for decats to be fitted, you need to map the engine ECU to tell it has no sports cats or catalytic converters, so you don't get an engine management light. And usually once you're doing that, you would go to a stage 1 or a 2 map, which would produce, I'm not 100% sure on this, if it's anything like the M3 M4, which it has the exact same engine, that should be about 530 horsepower. Do let me know if I'm wrong. But this has got even more than that. So this actually has 2 upgraded hybrid turbos, and it has over 600 horsepower. I think it was dynoed at 600, but it had a few map tweaks after that, and it's believed to be about 630 horsepower. And also the gearbox has been remapped as well. So I'm glad I found that out, because the first drive would have been very interesting, not realizing it had over 50% more power than stock. So yeah, this car has just got a lot more interesting and a lot more exciting actually, because I now have a 630 brake rear-wheel drive M2 that I've now got to try and keep in a straight line and not put into a ditch.
So I don't know how well, I'm holding my finger on it, but this little connector here, my thumb's on, has broken off, and the 5 solder joints have all come off. I'm going to try, I think I've got a little soldering iron. I'm going to try and just solder them back on. Don't know how it's going to go.
So now I've got to put the headlight on pause. We're going to concentrate on the exhaust and bumper, get these out of the way. So yeah, take the bumper off, get the new exhaust on, get the new bumper on, and that should be the rear end pretty much complete.
You know it's going to be a bad day when literally the first bolt you come to is completely rounded, due to the fact that the bolts were ridiculously tight. Now I'd be surprised if any one of those wheel bolts was less than 200 Newton meters. Ridiculous.
So annoyingly, we're going to have to pause working on the rear again. I need a new heat shield. I mean, I've tried to manipulate it a little bit, but if I'm honest, it's only a little one here. Only comes up to here, look, so I'd rather just replace it, then it's 100% then. So we're going to have to pause that while I order. I mean, this is always going to happen. We're always going to get to stages like this where I'm fitting something and then all of a sudden I need another part that I didn't foresee, and I'm now going to have to order that part. Hopefully it's in stock, so it'll be like next day, and then we can get that delivered. So going to pause working on the rear for the moment. Old bumper's off anyway, yeah, pretty straightforward. Just new one's ready to go on with the exhaust. So once we get that heat shield, that can then be the rear end done. So we're now going to move on to the front of the car. Hopefully we'll have better luck with the front end. Now this box here I basically sat through about 15 dealer fed images of the front end and just picked what I thought I needed on the front end of this car. So this is literally like a pick and mix. Some bits I may even not need, I don't know. I just thought I'll go through and have a look. So obviously we've got the obvious under tray there, and you can see this is where the oil cooler sits in that recess underneath. Don't know what that is. We have some ducts for the radiator, along with, don't know what that is, and more air ducts, along with a leg, which I'm not actually sure if I need. That I do need. That's the near side front leg, lower. A couple of clips, a couple more clips. We've got here bracket. Oh, that's the exhaust bracket that I need. so the day might be getting slightly better, but also slightly worse. Now, I found out the reason why I couldn't find any fittings for my oil cooler, and that is because this old one here, this unit here, look, which went like that, that is my fittings for my oil cooler, and as you can see, look, they were missing. So that has also made me realise that that is also an oil cooler fitting, and it's missing as well. So I do need another new one this side. I thought I could just, it was just them end bits that are a little bit bent, I could just bend them back, but alas, that is not the case. So I need a new one of these as well, so I'm going to order that. So that can be our oil cooler fitted. I have just got a text and a phone call to say my parts are in. So I'm now hopeful this video is going to be okay in the end. Now I'm just in the process of getting my oil cooler parts out, because we are actually not only going to replace the oil cooler, we are also going to replace the pipes for braided pipes as well. Now I've just removed the air box and followed the lines up, and they go behind the rad here and into the oil filter housing here. So we've got two pipes here. There's my makeshift little join so I could start the engine. So I'm just going to disconnect that, drain off any oil, and then because obviously the connections are at the top of the engine, I shouldn't have any problems with oil coming out. And then yeah, I'm gonna work out how to fit these together, because I've got a few coupling connectors, and then connect them, and hopefully I don't have to remove the rad, and I can just drop them down the back. I'm not 100% sure because it's quite tight in there. So yeah, we'll give it a go. So luckily removing the pipes isn't too bad. As you can see, it's quite accessible at the top there. There is a bolt that's holding both pipes to the engine halfway down the radiator at the back there, which is what I'm spending most of my time trying to do. Now the oil cooler is quite easy to fit, just a couple of couplings, one each side, and obviously I haven't got my bolts for my oil cooler yet, so I've had to just hold it in place with cable ties, which isn't the end of the world, so that's absolutely fine. Now moving on to the offside front, building up, we have my cage here, which my additional water cooler sits inside. Luckily the hose connections to the back of the water cooler were not damaged in the crash, so they can plug straight in. And I've also got a few ducts as well, one at the top, one at the bottom, and a main air duct as well, which directs air from the front bumper into the additional radiators. Now moving on to the near side front, I've just got my additional water cooler cage, which was bent, so I'm just replacing that along with the main air duct on the front there, just to keep it 100% and yeah, make it just look as good as new. Right, so it feels like we're making progress. I have both, well, I have this corner pretty much fully built up now. I think I'm just waiting for, no, I think this corner's actually built up. This corner, I've fitted the new bracket, but for some reason my air duct didn't turn up, so I'm missing that still, and also I've just ordered this. So once I get both of those, I can finish this corner off, and then I've got the under tray bit, I've got that, so that will go across the bottom, and I've also ordered my oil cooler bolts as well. So then that should be, like, I've just fitted that radiator, and I've just poured some water in. I noticed that the coolant in this is blue, not the pink stuff that I normally have, so I need to order some blue coolant. So yeah, the cooling system and the oil system should now all be fully sealed up tight. So I have just poured some water in. I'm going to fit the exhaust now as well, because we have the hanger, and then we're going to go for a start and see what 630 brake sounds like. Yeah, so yeah, good progress. Front's pretty much done. I've just got to put back together the parts that I removed that were in good order, that didn't need replacing. So yeah, we are finally getting there. I've got a couple of wings turning up this weekend as well. Front bumper, haven't fully sorted yet, but yeah, I mean, if I'm honest, that's the least of my worries at the moment. So yeah, the roof is still a week or two away. Just got a little soldering kit turn up as well, so we're going to try and solder that little unit in the headlight, and then we'll test the headlights, and then we're going to fit the exhaust and the rear bumper. Right, I've just soldered that back on, and I'm not going to lie, it looks awful, but if it does the job, it does the job. You can't really see, but the solder joints just look they just look a bit tacky. I mean, it's the first time I've soldered since year 8, I think, but there's no doubt that they are definitely all soldered on independently. So if it works just as well, just looks a bit rubbish, but you can't see it anyway, so it doesn't matter. I've just put a little bit of bond on the coupling itself, just the connector itself, so it doesn't become loose again. So I'm going to leave that for dry for 10 minutes while we fit the exhaust and bumper. Unfortunately, we're coming into winter now, so I'm going to have to deal with rain on the roof, so apologies for the noise of the rain. It does come across really badly on camera, but rear end is all back together. Exhaust is looking sweet, nicely in position. Bumper's all on. There's a bit of damage on the bumper here that wasn't in the item description when I bought it, so I'm having a bit of a conflict with them at the minute. But this should now... Rear end, beautiful, complete. So, I think, if we just go over to the front, everything here is in order. Oil cooler's plugged in, all the lines are plumbed in, all done up. There's some water in it, so hopefully should be no leaks. There's oil in it, water. I think we can go for a start. So yeah, let's have a listen and see what 630 brake sounds like. Well, it was 630 brake before, but now I know it is. It's really quiet. You wouldn't know it, that's for sure. Just go and have a look. And check the oil leaks up here as well. Make sure it's not coming out. Make sure there's no coolant or oil coming out anywhere. All looking good. Can we change the mode? Oh, there we go. The valve's definitely open then. Sport Plus. Whoa, that is loud. It's very much giving me C63 vibes here. Not the noise itself, but the fact that it's really quiet on idle, but when you rev it, it's ridiculously loud. I mean, that's like 3,000 RPM and I daren't rev it any louder than that. I hate it because it never comes across on camera, but it is so loud. Well, I've just plugged the headlights in with my refurbished control module. Now, I'm really hoping these work because obviously very expensive, about 900 quid a side. So that's going to be one of the main problems solved if it works. So let's just turn the ignition on. Running lights, so that's the side that wasn't broken. Running lights, LED headlights working. Ah no, me running lights aren't working, but my LED's working. So yeah, I guess my failed attempt at, I'm guessing this is an LED running light control module. So my attempt at repairing it has failed, and I need a new one. But oh well, bit annoying, but there we go, I'll have to order a new one of them then. But the LED works, the headlight works, so kind of good news. So I think that's a great place to leave today's video, guys. Really happy with the progress in the end. Finally feel like I'm getting somewhere. Although it still looks like an absolute mess, and we have no roof, and we have obviously the main bit of structure that needs repairing. I feel like the front end's mostly done, just need to literally bolt on wings, bumper, and a few under tray bits and a few more trims that I've got to wait for. But fundamentally, the main cost, apart from the bumper, is done. I won't list how much I've spent on parts around the front yet because it's not been finalised, so I don't know. But it's going to be around about £1,000, maybe just over. Rear end complete, really happy with that. And really happy with also the fact that we have now an oil cooler. Coolant system is complete as well. There's no leaks. The engine runs fine. It sounds ridiculously loud as well. And I have 630 brake horsepower when it's complete. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. The next one won't be until the carbon roof turns up, because I feel like I can get quite a lot done once the roof turns up. And there's not really much to do in the meantime, just gather a few more parts. So there may be a few week wait now on the next video on the M2 while we wait for the roof. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.